Hello, Internet. Mike Byrne here from MMOBomb.com, bringing you another first look video. And this time, it's kind of a unique one. We've got a free-to-play rhythm game called Sequence Storm, brought to you by Special Magic Games LLC. Now, I'm a huge rhythm games fan, and any of you that have watched me on Ready Check Radio streams have seen me play DJ Max and other rhythm games there. This one just went free to play yesterday, the 18th of January, and is available on Steam. Now, you can get the Act 1 and Act 2 for free, and a lot of other features as well, including 28 tracks to play, 28 story missions, 10 trial sequences, the arcade leaderboards, the track editor, and the Steam Workshop. That all comes free to play. Now, you can get additional content for the game, Act 3 and Act 4 of the story. I know, the story? We'll get to that in a second. If you want to via separate DLCs, which are normally $7 a piece. So Act 3 is $7, Act 4 is $7. But right now, they're on sale, a couple bucks off if you buy them in a bundle too, so you can get them for both a total of like $11 or so. There's one or two other DLCs and a soundtrack available that just add unique features, like your companion in the story mode will actually play announcer during your races. So there's a lot of things going on here, but there's quite a bit of content, multiple difficulty levels, and a ton of stuff to just sink your teeth into if you like rhythm games for absolutely no fee whatsoever. Head on over to Steam, go ahead and get the game. If you blast through it on all difficulties and you want some more, there's Act 3 and Act 4 of the story. Now, there's also a lot going on in this game, too, so don't jump in thinking, like other rhythm games, you might be able to play a 3 and a 4 track difficulty to get your feet wet and then expand out from there. The tutorials are done piecemeal as part of the story, but there's an awful lot of controls going on here. You can play with keyboard, you can play with the controller as well. I'm actually in this video playing with the controller, which I found to be a little better than the keyboard for this, which is odd for me for rhythm games. I normally prefer keyboard for that, but it kind of worked better here because of some of the mapping. So you've got 4 tracks straight down the middle, and you can see the lines, the small quarter lines coming down. And so you'll have 1, 2, 3, and 4. In this case, those were mapped to your triggers and shoulder buttons, respectively, across the controller. Now you see different straight lines all the way across all 4 of your tracks, and that's just jump, so you'll just press A. Now, we're already at 5 buttons, right? You also have boost. Of course, a build and spend mechanic, right? Hit a bunch of notes right and get boost, and you can zip through the level faster, ignoring some notes for a brief sequence. That's on the B button. You can also use that boost to do what's called a hyperdrift, where instead of shooting yourself straight down the track with a boost, you can just tap the B button and get a hyperdrift going on, where you'll still have to hit notes, but the more you hit, the faster your car will go, the faster your rig will go, and it will extend the time of the hyperdrift. So it can be used to gain speed. Really, the good way to think about it is, if you're on a straightaway, hold down B and boost. If you're on a curvy part of whatever level track you're on, you may want to use hyperdrift because it helps keep your car centered. While boosting, though, you can use the left analog stick to actually steer your car within the track left to right. And you may think that that's just fun, but there's actually mechanical reasons for it as you get further in the game. Whether that's to boost and steer into the trail of one of the AI opponents in a particular race, or the player opponents if you're playing online, and get into their drift back right behind them so that you can drift and speed up that way, or so you can avoid barriers on some levels that will slow you down. There is actual reasons why you would want to hold down boost and then steer, but it takes a delicate hand. I go crazy still. I've only played this for a few hours to get ready for the first look video, and I don't have it down yet. Sometimes you'll see me lose control wildly. There's another mechanic later where you get a shield that builds up a static charge when you miss notes, and you will have to boost and steer to get close to the sides of the road to discharge that static if it gets too high. So lots of mechanics. Now, we've talked about 4 note buttons. And obviously, like the yellow bars, blue, pink bars you see here, you can just tap them. Sometimes you have to hold them down. Very typical of rhythm games. When you see orange and blue tracks, those are controlled by the analog sticks. Orange on the left, blue as you see here on the right. Now, you don't have to hold them down, but when the paths go left and right, you have to snap the joystick either left or right on that beat. When you see those paths going diagonally, however, that's more of a sustained note. You have to press and hold the joystick in that direction and maybe take it back. So here are some single notes coming along the path right now. Synchronized means we're hitting them dead on. That orange segment we just tapped left, right on the analog stick, the left analog stick. Messed it up a little bit here. So tap right, tap left, tap right, and then keep going. Those long straight bars we're going to jump over. We're going to try this level again. This is the first time I've tried this one. Starting to get a little harder in the standard story mode. And so we'll try the daily grind again, just so you can kind of get a look at all the different mechanics at play. So really everything becomes almost an 8-track jump, an 8-track with the addition of jump, if you want to compare it to, say, a DJ Max or something like that. The game is a lot of fun. It's not obviously licensed music as far as like something that you're going to hear on the radio. So you will have some tracks that you like, have some that you don't, but you're not going to know any of the tracks going in unless maybe by some chance you've purchased the soundtrack to the game for other reasons. Now you can see that it is showing me other competitors. This is AI because it is now boost into the jet stream behind a few opponents to try and speed up a little bit. It is showing me other opponents that are AI for this particular race. Right now I'm in first. You can see that in the upper left corner of the screen along with my time. And there's a meter showing roughly where I am in this particular track. And objectives for each level as you're working through story mode vary wildly. They may be to place in the top 3 with bonus objectives of hit 65 notes in a row without missing one, or to do other things. Don't hit any barriers, don't hit the side walls, things like that. It is possible when you are boosting behind a vehicle that you may catch up to it and you've got to steer around it. So there's a lot going on. It does take a fair amount of time to get used to it at first, but the game does ease you into it. In addition to what you're seeing here, going through the story mode, like I said, that is an odd occurrence for a rhythm game to actually have a story mode. There is kind of like a cyberpunk, tongue-in-cheek-ish story about a guy who just kind of stumbles upon having a rig, these racers. And yeah, I mean, it's cute. There's some funny characters in it. There's a lot of funny dialogue. Of course, there's an AI that just is absolutely sarcastic and hates humans and wants to see them catch on fire in these rigs when they explode. So yeah, there's a story, but again, it's played out via cutscenes in between levels, so it's not like hugely interactive or anything like that. It's very passively viewed, but it does kind of give a purpose to the whole thing, which is nice. We didn't make it again. Objective there was to finish top 3, and the side objective was to hit some notes in a row. You can see that there's ways to customize your ship here as well, earning credits throughout the game. You have a number of different stats: health, grip, top speed, and acceleration. And you can buy credits. They get increasingly more expensive. So I need 500 credits for the next point. I've put 3 points in here. You can swap these at any point. So if you're having a track that you need more health, you can dump all of them in health. You also get a passive item. I've accrued some of them through gameplay, and you can rank those up with credits as well. They may give you additional boost speed or a number of different side passive perks. And if you want to change the color of your rig, you can. Right now, I only have Elijah's rig. That's the story rig. But you can obtain rigs throughout the game as well. So you can customize all the colors and the build. Different difficulties. So obviously, I've been playing on standard as my first time through. We'll eventually get to challenge and maybe ultra someday. We'll see. Normally, I can pick up rhythm games pretty quick, so we'll see. We're going to take a look at the arcade option as well. I'm not going to play anything in here. These are just the songs that are in the game proper and that you unlock through playing the game proper. Obviously, the ones you're going to have in here are the Act 1 and Act 2 songs as you open them up, and it tells you what you need to do. There's also leaderboards for them as well. I want to show the menu screen before we part ways here. There's a lot of options, including accessibility options like narration for all of them. Tons of different options here in the accessibility menu for those that need those types of things or for those who want to customize things, including a steering assist, as I mentioned. It is a little touchy when you're boosting and steering. This will give you a little autopilot. But great little free-to-play game. I can't complain about it at all. I'm very much enjoying it. If you want to check it out, it's free to play now on Steam. Go ahead and jump in. And until next time, stay safe. We'll see you on the servers.